about why this entrepreneurship is important, why you need to start your own business, and growth of entrepreneurs communities, like what we're doing right now. We have a community of entrepreneurs, what we call Entrepreneurs Connect. Every Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. we meet up in online. Every Saturday. It's been more than a year we are running this. What we do, we share the ideas, and and we just help people to be in the game, being in the game. So that's what we do. So friends, now let me invite Anupama Parkar, and she's the director and founder of 4C Integrated Communicators, and she's going to talk about growth in entrepreneurs community. She has been into advertising and media for some time, and she has been a great human being and an entrepreneur who's really contributing to this community to empower and enable people to be in action. So it's a great opportunity for you to ask a lot of questions and get ideas about how do you start your own business and how can you empower yourself to be in action. So over to you, ma'am, for this conversation. I hope you'll tell a little bit about your stories, and then at the end I'll ask people to ask questions as well. Also, I will be also asking you some of the questions about your journey. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Faisal, for that wonderful introduction. And good evening to you all, my dear friends here in UAE and back in India. I see a lot of people who have joined from India. And of course, that's my home country. That's where I come from. And it's amazing to be on this platform with audience from both the cities that are very, very close to me. When it comes to talking to an audience on an online platform, I don't like presentations. So if you're expecting a presentation from me, please, I'm sorry. I like to create conversations. And those conversations, when I say conversations, have to be two ways, right? I will be doing the talking, you will be doing the listening. And whenever you have some concerns, some questions, some queries, do put them in the chat box and we will take them up at the end of my storytelling or my conversation. Mr. Faisal has given a slight introduction about what I am, who I am, and I'm not going to repeat that, but I'm surely going to share with you my story and my story as to how I became an entrepreneur. Not only that, but what actually is that biggest game changer, as I call it, for me being who I am or making my business what it is. So let's get started. I come from a very business-oriented family. That means my father, my great-grandfather, my grandfather, I don't know how many generations down the line, we were business people. That means business runs in my blood. But is that enough to start a business? No. You require hands-on experience. You require mentors. You require the mindset. All of these things put together, that's when you can really start ideating. You can start maybe planning, executing, and then making something out of that business idea to make it profitable. So when I landed in Dubai, somewhere in the late 90s, I didn't know what Dubai was. I wanted to start a business because I come from a business family, and back in India, I had never worked. I had never worked for anybody except for me, my family. So it was a completely change of mindset, a complete change of mindset. First and foremost, it was a new country. So all things were actually new. Second thing, I was alone. In terms of family support, I just hasn't had my husband. And most important is, I didn't know how to start off getting that capital to create that business idea into a business. So the best thing anybody would do was to get a job. And I just did that. Get a job. By 2010, I was done with it. I said, enough, no more working. I had worked in real estate. I had worked in education sector. I had worked in FMCG. I had worked in agencies, and that was enough now. Now I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to create an impact on some aspect of business where I saw a gap. And I thought that this idea might just be the one that can make me a successful entrepreneur, a business owner. But as usual, you always are in a dilemma. Should I? Should I not? Is it the right decision? Is it not the right decision? What do I do? So I gave myself 2 years. I said, in 2 years, not only I'm going to equip myself with some qualifications that are required for a businessman, but also enough information about the market, about how to run a business on my own without any capital investment to begin with, without any people asset to help you with. Wow, 2 years is quite a long time when it comes to business. But what did I do in 2 years? I just connected with people. I just connected with different people. Because coming from a business background, I knew just a business idea was not enough. There were a lot of things required when it comes to running a business. A business owner needs to know what is about finance, what it is about operations, what it is about HR, what it is about marketing. Of course, that's my point, area of expertise. So that didn't really matter much in terms of collating or getting information. But the rest of the things, I need to know. Challenge number 2 was, of course, the investment. And when it comes to business, no investment in terms of capital is small or big. You just need to have something to start off with. And that something has to be enough to make you go from point 1 to point B in your business plan. And I was kind of clueless, blank. I didn't know what to do. And then somebody suggested to me, Anupama, the best thing you can do for yourself is join communities. Not only will you get to meet people, you will get information and insights, you will get support, you will make connections that are going to be helpful for you in business. 2 years. I was looking at expensive courses, but I had no money. I was looking at opportunities where I think I would make something out of the idea that I had and start my business. But 2 years it did take, because 2 years was my deadline and the deadline was approaching fast. 2 years in the community, what did I do? I gathered a lot of information. I gathered a lot of insights. But what I didn't do was I didn't act upon it. And when one of the persons really poked me, nudged me and said, Anupama, information, insights, knowledge, wisdom, fine. But if you're not going to act upon it, you're not going anywhere. Your business is not going to take off from this paper that you have written. It's going to be on paper, and that's what it's going to be. If you need to do something about what you have done in the past 2 years, get yourself up and start acting, implementing what knowledge, what information, what insights you have received. Before I begin telling you any further, let me put a disclaimer. I'm not marketing or selling anything. Whatever forums I might take names of, I'm just naming it for example sake itself. There's no liability on me or Brainciti as of now as I talk to you about this particular forums, which might help you, which might make you understand where I come from and why do I promote saying that you want to be an entrepreneur, then the best place that you can actually ideate, plan, and brainstorm your challenges, your support, have your ask, all these things can be done in communities. Those are the best, free of cost, maybe sometimes paid. Yeah, but they give you an entire scope, environment, ecosystem to support your business. So when I started looking at what communities I was in, I realized one thing. What are communities? Communities is a group of people come together for one single cause. They have a purpose. Just like Brainciti has a purpose, they have their masterminds. They have their 5 a.m. club. Each of this small network forum has a cause, has an objective. So when these forums do spring up, you need to see what cause it is for. So first and foremost, that's what I was looking at. Which communities am I in? And how are they going to help me to start my business? And I realized after those 50, 60 communities that I was a part of, half of them really didn't matter. But the ones which mattered, I kept them in my list. Well, that I'm talking about 10 years ago. There were not as many forums, online forums, I should say, as we have today. They were mostly, the forums, the communities used to meet offline, like business councils. They meet offline. They have events. They're networking events. The specific networking events. A lot of them are online as well. Like you have FB, you have LinkedIn groups. Those are also communities. So which were the platforms that were easier for me to talk to people, to create that rapport, to create that kind of conversation which is beneficial not only for me but for the community as well? So I started looking at those platforms, and when I started weeding that out, hardly 10 were left. Then the third aspect is the specificity. A lot of communities, for example, I am a women entrepreneur, so they're targeted women entrepreneurs. I'm a marketing professional. We have communities targeted to marketing professionals. So those become specific communities. So I started looking at what do I need, which specific community do I need to be in. As a business owner, you have to know your finances well. You need to know how the bookkeeping is done. You need to know how the accounts are kept. You need to know about the difference between a cash flow, between a profit and loss statement or a balance sheet. And I didn't come from a finance background. So for me, this was Greek, Latin, Hebrew. So I wanted to be a part of a community where there were accountants, where there were finance people. So I started creating a list of communities that I would benefit from, I would learn from. Now, a lot of communities these days are free. You can just join and be a part of it. There are a lot of communities that are moderated. That means you have some criteria that's must to join these communities. And some of them are paid. Like you have the CEO club, you have the ISFP, you have future females. This kind of, they are paid. These are paid communities. So now you have a really huge repertoire of communities that you can join, offline, online, very specific ones. For example, if you are not well versed with HR and you are hiring a team of maybe 10 to 12 people, as a business owner, you need to have an idea of what the HR laws are, what are the HR regulations, the contracts that need to be done. Who's going to help you? Then you have to hire somebody. What if you're in a community of HR people? What happens? Just imagine if I put you in such a situation in an HR community, how beneficial would it be for you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner? Communities help you in many ways, and that's what they have done to me. They've helped me in many ways. Giving information, yes. Whatever information I wanted in the community, I just had to ask. The information was there. I made connections. I made not only connections with the right people who would connect me to my clients. So I had some referral partners, so as to say, or I had references for suppliers, vendors. I didn't have to hunt long and hard to find the right kind of vendor. This references came from trusted people within the community. You get support. I still remember one time when I was in a situation where I required immediate cash. I didn't know what to do. The bank said it would take at least 7 days. 100,000 was a difficult task to collect within a day's time. I just put it in my community of entrepreneurs. I said, this is my situation. Can anybody give me an idea how I can overcome this challenge? In 20 minutes time, I got a call from a person in the community who, of course, I know him very well. And he said, Anupama, I can help you. And it was done. So when you are in a community, and if you're an active member of a community, this is what is built. Connections are built which support you during each and every challenge that you go through as a business owner. When I'm talking about support, I'm talking about overcoming challenges. It doesn't come free of cost. It surely doesn't come free of cost. You proactively have to invest your time and your efforts to create those connections in the community. Brainciti does this mastermind. Yeah, just now, Mr. Faisal was talking about having an entrepreneur connect forum happening every week. What do you think they do there? He said, we support you. I would like to digress. It's just not support. The support comes because each of the member in that community create that connection with each other. They create that rapport. They create that trustworthy environment. So when somebody from the community extends his hand and asks for support, there are another 10 people ready to hold that hand and help them overcome the challenge. It's all about creating the connections. And that's what communities are for. But this, as I say, I've learned and I've experienced this, that this doesn't happen in every community. However big or small the community may be, you can have a community of around 100 people or maybe around 1 million people. This doesn't happen in every community. Some communities are dead. They have a lot of people in the community, but there is no interaction. There is no engagement. What you do, what happens, nobody knows. Why do we go in such communities? And if you're a business owner, your time is important. Your efforts are important, and they should be directed to the success, the profitability, the productivity, the efficiency of your business. So what do I do when I go into a community? Of course, the first task is to weed out which community I want to go into. Why I say weed out? Because these days, the number of communities that have cropped up like wild mushrooms. Everybody is setting up a community because they know and they understand the importance of it. They understand that communities are the ecosystem, the supportive ecosystem that a business requires to thrive in challenging times. And that is the reason why you see so many communities up and running. Another reason for so many communities, of course, the pandemic has accelerated the process, is because sitting in Dubai, I can do business all over the globe now. Technology has given us the opportunity to go global. So the pandemic and the technological advances put together has given us the opportunity. By sitting here in Dubai or sitting there back in India, you are into a forum, into a community here in Dubai, right? And that goes for the entire world. So just imagine the number of communities in a city, in a locality, or in a specific geographical location. They are numerous. And people are forming these communities because they understand the importance. They understand the value of this impactful tool. When I want to join a community, first and foremost is the objective. Why I want to join that particular community. I joined many communities when I started off my business. I wanted to be well versed with finance. I looked at a course and it says finance for non-finance managers, 30,000 rupees. And I like, oh God, it's better off me joining a community. And mind you, I'm honestly saying this, thanks to all those accountants and finance guys who actually helped me understand how to do the bookkeeping, how to read the profit and loss statements, how to read the balance sheet, what impacts what. All this has come from practical knowledge, hands-on experience, not any bookish knowledge. And that's what community offers you. Hands-on knowledge about things you require to do for your business. So my objective was the most important thing. Why do I want to get into this community? But when I'm into the community, what should I look for? The activities. How frequent, how engaging, how beneficial are these activities to my business or to me personally? Me personally, as well as being a business owner, how much does it affect positively? This is one way. The second is, what can I give to this community? A lot of people, of you must have heard about the concept of givers gains, right? The more you give, the more you get. And I totally believe in it. If you give once, you get 10 folds in return, because there are 10 different people in your community. So once you start giving, you will get back as much. You can actually set goals. I'm going to be in this community for this duration, and this is what I want to gain in that 10 months, 1 month, 2 months. You can actually set goals and strive, do anything that is possible within that time frame to achieve the set goal, the desired result. I remember I joined a community just because I had launched a new product and I wanted new clients. And it was a tech product. I wanted 300 clients in 30 days. Well, I was not able to make 300, but I surely touched the figure of 285. And that was just because the community supported me in achieving that number. I just fell a little short of my target. Once you get in the community, you start understanding it, you start interacting. Those interactions should not remain generic. They should start getting one-to-one. Start asking for meetings, connect with people, help them out, be proactive in supporting others. And that's how you build your brand within that community. People will look up to you. And next time when you need support, there are another, not 10, but 20 people who want to support you. Having said all of this as to how you need to actually leverage your existence in a community, we forget one thing. And that one thing is about asking help. Business owners have, myself included, I know everything. Yeah. If I say I don't know this, they might think I'm a fool. It might not really go well as to how they perceive me. Yeah. And then we are scared, we are fearful, we try to hold ourselves back. When we need something, just ask, don't wait. Because in business, timing is very, very important, and you have to act fast. So it's very important when you are in a community, make the best use of it. Be sure that if you are having a challenge, you are having an obstacle that needs to be addressed, do it right away. Ask right away. Put it in the community communication channels. We are now on WhatsApp, we are on FB, we are on Insta, we are on LinkedIn, and we have each other's phone numbers and email IDs as well, right? If I have to say about my business, I like to, even though I'm a marketing professional, I like to brag about this. We don't spend anything for our marketing. We absolutely don't spend anything for our marketing, because our marketing is not done by us for us, but by our community members for us. They refer us clients. They pass on our references. They pass on recommendations. And that's how 4C actually runs. And I cannot help myself but promote that each and every entrepreneur, if has the inclination to have a successful business, a sustainable business in the long run, he should be part of at least 5 to 6 communities, strong communities, always. It's just not that being a community will give you clients. Being in a community will give you many other aspects as well, many other benefits as well, which you might not at this point of time get in that, okay, what else they can help me in other than getting clients or other than generating revenue. Ask me. Whenever I have a problem, I just put it in my communities. I wanted to hire a person. We wanted to hire an accountant. And I had no time to get into the Jingbang. Ads, shortlisting, blah, blah, blah. Oh God, it was too much. And being a small team, I didn't have any member assigned to it to do it. So the best thing I did was put it in my community. Hey, this vacancy is open and this is what I look at. Give me the best. And what? Voila. 3 days later, we had hired an accountant. He's there with us for almost 2 years now, and we are very happy with him. And how did this happen? Support. From where? From the community. So after talking to you for almost 25 minutes now, you must have realized one thing. I'm just harping about communities, 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 communities. Why? Because communities is the one tool that has helped my business in every aspect of running the business, be it operational, be it suppliers, be it finance, be it HR, and for anything and everything, there's always support from you from either of the communities you might be in. So next time when you are looking at the success of your business, make sure you've added this tool into your business plan as well, that you are going to be a member of at least 5 to 6 communities. Because as an entrepreneur, your business comes first, and anything and everything for the business is right. And this tool is the most impactful that can be. All about communities, all about business. But these communities, apart from being something that's beneficial for business, are beneficial for you personally as well. Because as you start spending time with them, online or offline, slowly they start dripping into your personal life as well. Be it socializing together, be it doing sports together, be it eating out together. So as you start spending more time with your communities, they become an integral part not only of your business, but your life as well. And that's when you start understanding how much of efforts in terms of time, and sometimes if they're paid, you might have put. So that's an investment, not only for your business, but on a personal level as well. So if I have to summarize a few things that I have said, and specifically about what kind of support or what you should do to get into a right community for you as a business owner, always remember, join a community with a set objective. If you do not have any goals, if you do not have any specific objective to join a community, then that community is not going to work for you. Communities are for a specific purpose. Leverage that purpose. Leverage their cause. Leverage the time and efforts you put into being in that community. And in the long run, you will see the results. Because if after 10 years, I'm still promoting the communities, then you know better, right? If it wasn't for the experience, if it wasn't for the results that have come personally to me, I wouldn't have promoted them as much. So best of luck for each and every community experience that you may have, may want to have, and should have. Over to you, Faisal. Whatever questions, I'm ready for it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anupama ma'am, for sharing a little bit about entrepreneurship and in the importance of being in a community where you get an opportunity to empower yourself to be in action and get the right advices, get right directions to be a successful entrepreneur. So thank you everyone. Thank you ma'am for joining today. And you spoke a lot about communities, and I know I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, when I started my business, my thought was, I've done an MBA and I know what I need to do, and let me do it on my own way. Even people started advising me, Faisal, don't do this, don't do that. But I never heard them. I was thinking, it's my business, it's my own way. Why should I listen others? And when I failed the business the first time, I never thought like I should get advice from somebody. When I failed second time, I realized, no, Faisal, you're doing something wrong. You're losing your savings, you're losing your money, you're losing your business, your finances. Now you need to really work out how do you bounce back and create some funds to create a cash flow. I started talking to people. Hey, how did you handle the people? How do you get the right people into the team? How do you innovate your product? How do you face the challenges? How do you attract the investment? How do you really go and make a difference in the community? And how do you really grow the business? And I started getting a couple of advices that really shifted me. And later stage, I've joined to the community called, one of the biggest community in the world called PNI. That was a phenomenal conversation happened to me in my life. This networking organization really given me a lot of opportunity to talk to successful entrepreneurs. And that was my first hook. They really transformed my way of being as an entrepreneur. And I really started listening their stories rather than somebody's educating to me how to become an entrepreneur. Their stories, their challenges, their investment plan, their proper fund management, their proper people management, the product management, really given me an access. So, and very recently, as you know, that we also have started our own community called Entrepreneurs Connect. We have around 200 entrepreneurs connected online, and every week we have around 30 to 40 entrepreneurs comes together and talk about their life challenges and business challenges, and we just help each other to be empowered to be in business. So that's what we usually meet up every Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. Dubai time. So thank you, ma'am, for insisting people, the best way you to be in the game of business, connect with the entrepreneurs, communities. Thank you, ma'am. So Saraswati, ma'am, I think you have a question. Before we start, there are two kind of people in this room. One, there's somebody want to start their business. And the second kind of people is they already have a business and they are going through challenges, or they want to improve their business. They want to grow their business. They want to go to the next level. So the people out there, they're looking for a start their own business. What advices, they are in their comfort zone. They're in their 9-to-5 job and they don't want to leave the job because of, they're getting a proper salary this time. But at the same time, they always want to start their own business. For me, it took 7 years to think about starting my own business. I never thought of quitting the job, and it's an incident happened, I quit the job. But otherwise, I would have been in that safe space. When I quit the job, I feel it took some time to come out the powerful conversation out of me. But what I want to ask you, the people out there who's want to start the business, what is your advice to, help them to get out of their comfort zone and start their own business?
For those who want to start your business, the first thing is you surely, if you want to start a business, must have a business idea. I want to start my business in this particular scope or a concept in place. Sometimes you have people, okay, I want to start a business, but I don't know what to start. I mean, I have found, people in both the scenarios where somebody has a business and somebody, a business idea, and somebody who actually doesn't have a business idea at all. Either ways, the first thing that you need to know is, are you ready for it? Do you have that mindset? Because business is not for those people who want to just plan it on paper and then look at it every morning and say, yeah, I want to start my business. And 10 years down the line, they still haven't done anything about it. Yeah. A business owner has a very different mindset. They are ready to do anything and everything for the business to be successful. They want to start it. They want to make sure it runs well. And then at the end of it, it's sustainable for a long period of time. Nobody starts with a business saying that, yes, I want to close down in the next 2 years. Yeah, they want a business for a long run. So the first thing is, of course, the business idea. The second thing is about the mindset. If you don't have the mindset, then it doesn't work. There are a lot of entrepreneurial skills assessment tests. Do take them. I, even after 10 years of running a business, I still every 2 years do a entrepreneurial skill assessment test, because an entrepreneur, a business owner requires many skill sets. They need to know how to run a business. They need to know how to manage their accounts. They need to know the operational part. For example, if you're a restaurant, your chef doesn't turn up, what do? At least you have to have a fair idea how to manage the kitchen, right? So in this scenario, you should have that mindset of, I can do anything and everything to keep this business going. That's important. The third thing is, of course, creating a ecosystem of mentors. These mentors become your sounding boards. Even after 10 years of business, I have mentors. I have somebody who still coaches me, who advises me on finance. I have a person who advises me, coaches me on HR. Those decisions are important for a business. And if you cannot sound them on somebody, then it's difficult for you to understand if it's a right decision or a wrong decision. So create an ecosystem of mentors. And the fourth thing, of course, I would say, is create an ecosystem of communities. Create an ecosystem of supporting people, complementing your business. So these 4 parameters are very important. You need to evaluate, assess them before you take the leap of faith. Yes, Mr. Faisal.
Thank you, Anupama, ma'am, for giving a clarity about having a mentors, having right people. 1 minute. Okay, so thank you so much, ma'am, for giving more clarity. And you also said about your mentors in different areas of business. So that's what happened to me. Like initially, I was thinking, why should we have a mentors or coaches? We should go with our own flow. But when I face the challenges and failures, I realized we need to have mentors. We need to have a right people who already experience these failures already in their life. So thank you, ma'am, for giving that clarity. And as I said, we have a group of entrepreneurs meet up every single Saturday. There is a WhatsApp group I've shared by Shana. You can join that WhatsApp group, and please do attend those Saturday sessions. It's completely free. You can connect with a lot of entrepreneurs, and you can get their ideas and evolutions, how they became successful entrepreneurs, how they are facing their challenges. So now let me invite Saraswati ma'am. Please go ahead and ask your questions. I will also request you, please come on video if you can, because it's good to have face-to-face conversations. So I'm sending you a prompt, Saraswati ma'am. You're there. You can accept the prompt and ask the questions. Or if anybody else is available, please go ahead and ask the question. Okay, Saraswati ma'am, please unmute yourself. You have to unmute.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, the question is, like Anupama, you were mentioning about this communities or to get involved with communities. Like, how did you get yourself involved with these communities actually?
Okay. When I started off my business, I knew for myself what my weaknesses were, right? So I started looking at business communities. That was the first starting point. So I started going to business councils. But then I realized business councils is a paid community, and I did not have those kind of resources.
Okay.
So my next step was to ask within my circle, whoever are business owners, what kind of communities they are into. So, of course, somebody was in BNI. They said, okay, why don't you join BNI? Somebody was in Ascentive. They said, why don't you come to Ascentive? Then somebody was into Future Females. They said, why don't you come to Future Females? So I started collecting the list of communities, and then I started evaluating which is going to help me for what. Some of them were paid, some of them were free, some of them were moderated, some of them were specifically for marketing, for social media, some for digital marketing. So I started prioritizing which ones I wanted to get in. At any given point of time, I am active in at least 3 to 4 communities, because it gives me that kind of exposure in those different scope or categories of businesses. I am into digital marketing because at this situation I am in, I'm a little old school. I don't enjoy FB. I don't like Insta. I was never on Insta. I just use LinkedIn because it's a business requirement. But in the past 1.5 year, I'm doing FB live now. And why did I become so proficient in doing I wouldn't say proficient, but yeah, good enough. I'm sorry, let me be a little humble and modest. In doing FB lives, because the community supported me. They said, Anupama, you have so much to share. Why don't you do an FB live? I said, I don't like to get on camera. Please don't do this to me. They said, at least give it a try. Try for us within our community, and we will give you the feedback. And I started doing it. I'm now doing it for almost 4 months. And the effect is such, now other communities are asking me to come and address in their communities. So I must be doing something good. I must be doing something right. Yeah, but it started off with the community. It started with the objective, why I want to be in this particular community. I joined this particular community because I wanted to be a little proficient in using social media handles, in understanding what FB ads and LinkedIn ads and Insta ads mean, how email marketing works. Yeah, because up till now, I never had the opportunity to do the groundwork. It was always at the decision maker level, but for the past 1 year, the way things were moving out, I had to sometimes do things at the ground level. Maybe do the campaign, the postings stuff myself, because we were working from home, internet issues, a lot of things. So to overcome these challenges, I wouldn't tell my clients, right? Oh, my social media guy is working from home. He doesn't have internet, so we didn't post your campaign. Doesn't happen. I have to fill in for it. So to overcome that challenge of mine, that technological challenge that I have, or the social media challenges that I had, I joined this community, and it has helped me grow and understand this part of my business more better.
Okay, in this pandemic situation, which community would you suggest me, online, offline? I mean, how do I get in touch with people, or how can this make a difference at this time?
Depends on what business challenge you have.
Okay.
Yeah, depends on what business challenge you have. For just share with me one challenge that you have right now.
See, I've recently ventured, not recently ventured, but I used to be earlier. And in this pandemic situation, I said, okay, I mean, nothing will work now, and I don't want to get into all these things. But I'm into fitness things, and I want to get into that again. Okay. And that is wanting people to, I mean, I want to help people to reduce weight and whatnot. I mean, those are the things that anyways we did. And how do you really put me on? Where do you really
do you have your own business, or is it something that you're doing on a freelance basis?
Like I'm a part of an organization, so I work with them.
Okay, and you are looking at getting more clientele, or
exactly?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the best thing that you can do is get into communities started by sports organization, wellness organizations.
Okay. Yeah.
Health organizations. This is where you need to start.
Okay.
Yeah, they have communities. They have, for example, now Brainciti has their own community, right? They have small forums. Yeah, within the banner, or under the umbrella banner of Brainciti, they have this 5 a.m. club. They have entrepreneurship connect. They have mastermind. Likewise, if you come to my business, we also have a community which is called Bees Elevate. Yeah, you go to organizations, they also will be having this kind of communities. You go to institutions will have their own communities. Yeah, so you can start weeding those out. We're trying to find out which communities you want to join, which communities will give you better traction, and then get into these communities and proactively start the conversation. Nobody is going to come and ask you who you are, what you do. Yeah.
Exactly.
But don't spam, please.
Yeah.
For example, I'm in this one of the FB groups, and the moment I get online, this person sends me about 20 messages. Yeah, and all of them are sales pitches.
Yeah.
I am in that community not to listen to your sales pitch. I am in that community to impart my knowledge.
Right.
Yeah. So when I raised that concern, that person was blocked from that community.
True.
Yeah, it should not happen to you. So don't spam. There is a set process of how you communicate with people in the community.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you should be doing that.
Okay.
Get health organizations, they have their own communities. Sports organizations do have their own communities. You can get in there. And now lately there are a lot of things that are happening online. Yeah, a lot of sports related apps, fitness related apps. You can tie up with them.
Yeah.
They have communities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can get through those kind, and it depends on, as I said, what is your objective, how much of time, how much of efforts you